Hey, all right, everybody. Welcome. It's Monday, April 13th, currently 11 a.m., 36 seconds after. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope everybody's safe. As always, before we start our podcast, we're going to say, please be careful. Take care of yourself. That's the most important thing. Everything we talk about is secondary compared to what is going on out there. Please take care of yourselves, your family, your neighbors, and your friends. Take care of yourself. It's amazing what's going on. I hope this will be over soon. I'm kind of flabbergasted, to be honest with you. But we continue to go about our daily activities. I hope you do too. Do not get yourself stir crazy. Get out and about, but just be very safe. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and your family. That being said, we got a show today. Let me take that. Please stay tuned on there off. We got a packed show today, guys. We're going to learn about important you. It's all on you now, baby. It's you. It's going to be an important episode today because you're going to get a clear defining understanding, or definite understanding, let's put it that way, of what your role is. Yes, we've talked about your business building activity and et cetera, but that's not what this is about. When it's all said and done, you got to make sure that you're running a business, you're an entrepreneur. You've got to look at it that way. You've got to have that mindset. When you go into this business, you are an entrepreneur. You want a better lifestyle. You want more money, and you have the vehicle to do it. But look, don't get yourself into trouble. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. But you don't want to get yourself in trouble in a legal manner. You don't want to lose your family, your job in the process. I know we touched on that. We'll go a little bit more into depth about that today. But the most important thing is, guys, look, you have a business that can turn your life around. You got to treat it as such. You got to make sure you have all the legal things taken care of. You got to make sure you maintain your health, your family, your job. We're going to touch on those things today. Before we get started, as always, if you will, please like, share, comment on the various social media platforms we have. As you know, our hashtag, TheMLMSolution, that is what you can use to find us on the various platforms. I got to say, I'm very flattered and honored. Thank you for the thumbs up this morning already. But here's the thing, you guys are doing awesome. I picked up new subscribers across all the platforms, and I was very shocked and very flattered. I told the wife, I had a big smile on my face. I told the wife, and she had a smile as well. You know, she's glad to see that. But the thing is, we're reaching out to people and we're helping people and they're responding, and that is awesome. I don't want you guys to do it because I always request it. I want you guys to do it because it's actually information that is helping you understand how this business model really works and gives you a realistic chance to take this business model and do something special that will change your life. And that's the reason why we do what we do. As always, please give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear during the episode. That always gives me a big smile on my face and does my heart good. I already got a thumbs up to start out. And those things, it has a little heart too. I've never seen that before. Somebody did that the other day. A couple of people did. And that's awesome. I didn't know it would do that. All right. And finally, on the website, TheMLMSolution.net, I've been working on that thing the last 3 days, and I've got the main page up. People are visiting it already, and I'm working on the other pages. Almost have those done. So the website will be up and running in complete fashion here very shortly for your convenience and for your visitation. That way you have access to this information not only on YouTube, but also on Facebook, but more importantly, on the website, which fills a totally different purpose. That being said, as always, we know that we start our day and our podcast with what? That's right. The gong. I feel like I'm on the gong show. I feel like I'm running the gong show here. Okay, with that being said, guys, we're going to get started. Today's topic, important you. It's all about you. Yours. It's all yours now, baby. That's what I meant to say. It's all yours now. In other words, this is when it gets real. This is when the rubber literally hits the road. This is when, if anything goes wrong, the responsibility is on your shoulders. I don't want to be a negative Nanny. I'm not trying to be, but we're not going to sugarcoat things. As we all know, there's good and bad side to everything, right? The yin and the yang, the positive and the negative. The bottom line is that you guys need to know all about all of this. And we're not going to be a negative Nanny in this show. We're just going to touch on real subject matter that you need to know about to make sure you got your bases covered Because look, you don't want to work your tail end off and build a wonderful business and turn around and have legal issues that could end up taking all that fun and all that hard work away from you. And you don't want to do that, right? So we're going to talk about some things here that are going to help clarify those points that we were just talking about before we started the show. All right, that being said, let's get to our first point. For all of you on the podcast, we now have on the ticker the number one point, and that is you want to understand your role in your business. Okay, so you say, oh, well, Rob, that's easy. That's simple. I know what my role is. Yeah, you do to a certain point. Look, you're in one mindset, and you should be. Here's the mindset that you have. You have an opportunity with the company that you pick to change your life, and you're going to take off and do a 90-day mini blast. I totally get it. You're focused on that. You know what? But that's not all that's taken place. Look, as you go out and you start building this business, we touched on this the other day, you've got to understand, number one, you've got all the paperwork in the company signed, and it's, in other words, your sponsor says, yes, you're good to go. That's one less worry you have on your mind. If you have people come to your house, if you're going out and meeting people on a property that you own, because some of you are business owners and you have multiple properties, guys, you've got to have insurance. You've got to make sure that if somebody slips and hurts himself, somebody gets hurt, something happens in this sue happy world that we have, you want to make sure that you have your assets covered. Okay, you can't be so focused on the 90-day mini blast and the business building process and the dreams that you have for this business and forget about the basics. And that is what? Cover your butt. Make sure. And, some people say, well, I just work from my home. If you have a prospect, like a neighbor, or if you have somebody down the street that you are a good acquaintance with, they hear about you and the things that you're doing. They've been in network marketing before, and they say, hey, I want to come down and visit with you. I want to have a discussion. And they come down. They get bit by your dog, they slip and fall, whatever the case may be, guys, that could be a real issue. And you say, well, I've got renter's insurance or I've got homeowner's insurance. I'm going to tell you that is not always enough. I have, as part of my overall portfolio, what they call an umbrella insurance policy. Okay, and yes, I do have insurance to cover the house and anything that could possibly happen business-wise. But here's the thing. There are more issues. You got to tell your insurance agent, look, I may have people, or I do have people visiting my home. I do have a business, and you got to let them know what's going on, okay? Because you do not want to take that chance. Why work so your tail end off to only lose it in a lawsuit? You don't want to have that happen. Please get with your insurance agent. I'm not going to act like an insurance agent. I know a lot about insurance, but every situation is different. Every company has different, well, they all pretty much the same, 90%, but there are some that have some different little bylaws and things. You've got to make sure that you got yourself covered. So before you start your business building process, just take a quick look or call your agent and say, hey, look, I'm going to be starting the business. I don't know if somebody's going to be coming to my house, but I got to make sure that if somebody does, that I'm covered. Okay, if they slip, they fall, they get bit by a dog, you got to lay out the scenario. Okay. And the thing is, you don't have to go crazy. And also, while you're on there, ask them, say, I want an umbrella policy. How does the umbrella policy apply to this business insurance? Okay. And these insurances are relatively inexpensive, especially the umbrella. I have $1 million umbrella policy, which is a norm. It's not anything unusual. I would encourage you to do the same. But the point is, make sure that you got yourself covered. Okay, so that when you're out there building your business, if anything happens, you've got yourself covered. This may be a small extra expense, and relatively speaking, in the overall picture of insurance, this type of insurance that I'm explaining to you guys is relatively inexpensive. You'll find that out as you talk to your agent. So that's something you really have to make sure. Number one, make sure all the paperwork. And you say, Rob, that's common sense that all the paperwork in the company signed. Guys, I'm telling you, I have seen where somebody was so anxious to get started, they didn't fill out all the paperwork, or if they did, they didn't get it to the right place at the right time. Thank God for online registration where that really has been eliminated. But if you're using paper, always make sure that before you start the business building process, you got all your ducks lined up and everything is in order. Okay, so with that being said, look, I don't want to scare you guys, like I said, when we get started here, but the reality is that you got to understand what your role is in your success. And you're a businessman, you're a businesswoman, you are taking the bull by the horns and you're saying, I'm going to change my life. And guess what? Part of being a business owner, part of being an entrepreneur is to make sure that you have all your ducks lined up. And that's point number one is you got to be able to do that. Okay. Point number two, for all of you on the podcast, these seem like simple points, but I have to drill these things home because look, a lot of people don't believe that network marketing is real business. They think it's some shod, somebody running out of the garage and out of their basement and all this and that. You know what? There's people that have done that. There's people that may continue to do that. There's amazing success stories of people that lived in a relative's basement while they built their business to incredible heights. I could tell you story after story about people like that. But here's the thing. This business is a business. I always tell you guys, whose name is on the tax form at the end of the year? You. Who's legally responsible if something goes wrong? You. Who's legally responsible if you're out there making all kinds of claims, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, about your income, your lifestyle, and all this other stuff to quote unquote entice people? You. Can you be sued for those? Yes. And so you don't want to do that. Right? It used to be that you could show your income, your check. I didn't see anything wrong with that. I mean, that validates, you're saying with your mouth, hey, I make X amount per month, and you may not be living the lifestyle yet, but you're still making that kind of money because you're kind of frugal and you're being responsible. You're not going crazy. You're putting the money away or you're paying off debt. So, but you tell people, hey, I'm making this much a month. People say, that's crazy. You're not making that much. And you could show them your check. Guess what? It became illegal to do that. Yes, it is illegal. And if you do that, you could be sued. And I've seen people be sued over that. Big lawsuits. Okay. So the point is, you don't want to go out there showing your check. You don't want to go out there making outrageous claims. And you don't want to be saying outrageous things to entice people to join your business. What do? You just tell them the music to the ears message. Just stay focused on the basics. Don't do anything outrageous. Don't do anything stupid. Okay. You could be sued for that. Also, which I'll touch on here in a minute, you have to realize that there are people out there that have run radio ads and even TV ads. And during the 2006, 7, and 8 years, when that economic turn, when Obama was in office, the thing is that a lot of the network marketing companies ran recruiting ads. I mean, that's what they were. And they really did a wonderful job in a professional manner, letting people know that they were out there and that they were an opportunity that they could tap into to bring extra money into their family. That was a great approach. But guess what? Before that, there were enterprising entrepreneurs who, to be honest with you, didn't always have the best interests of their downline at heart. But the thing is, they were running radio ads, and it was nothing more than really a borderline pyramid scheme. And the thing is that they would run these ads and kind of plug people in, and they would tell Rob, hey, Rob, we're running radio ads. All you have to do is give us $1,000, $1,500, and then buy the kit. And we take that $1,500 and we buy more ad space, and we have a bunch of people join in. And what we'll do is we'll put people in there. You really don't have to do anything. And that was happening back in the day. Guess what? You can be sued for that. Okay, there's a lot of legal issues. And that obviously was, number one, it wasn't duplicatable. Number two, that was crazy. It did work. It worked in a big way. But guess what? It fell apart in a big way. A lot of issues came out of that. And it happened more than once, guys. It happened more than once. So the point is, you do not want to put yourself in a legal situation by doing crazy stuff like that, making crazy claims, showing your paycheck. Why? Because you're going to put yourself in a bad situation. So you have to realize, you say, well, what does that got to do with point number two? You said, hey, you got to realize this is a real business. It is. Because it is a real business, you can be sued because your name is on the business. You're responsible. Okay, you have to do the right things. You can't go doing crazy stuff. I encourage you when you join a new company to read the bylaws, ask questions. Can I do this? Can I do that? What can I not do is probably a more appropriate question. Okay, so this is real stuff. You own a business. You're liable here. You got to realize the seriousness of what you're about to undertake. Okay. Yes, your head is full of dreams of wonderful things and you're all giddy and you're ready to go. But at the same time, you got to realize this is a real business. It has real issues. We've talked about in the almost every episode about all the challenges that you're going to face during the business building process. But we've not touched on the legal side, the personal side, which we're doing today. So you have to understand what's going on. A lot of network marketing companies, pretty much it's because the industry has been around for so long. A lot of new network marketing companies have kind of a template, if you will, because they hire lawyers who specialize in this industry, in this business model. And they'll have templates that companies buy, if you will, and they just plug in their name and their owner's name and all the other people that are important in the formation of that company. And the thing is that they will have bylaws that are pretty standard and, that have been tried and true for 50, 40 years. So there's a lot of that. If you look at the company bylaws, that is a standard procedure, and that's going to make you feel good. In other words, there shouldn't be any surprises, but you always got to make sure, guys, hey, is there anything that stands out that I'm not supposed to do? Okay. Now, when you sign up, your sponsor and other people are so focused on getting you started, they're not going to talk about these things. There's a reason why we're doing it now, because I don't want you guys to get blindsided by what could transpire. I hope that never happens to any of you guys. I hope none of you guys ever have issues like this. But if you're not aware of them, and all of a sudden out of the blue, you get hit broadside by a lawsuit or something like that, and you're right in the middle of doing something special, that could derail you, that could deflate you, that could ruin you, and you don't need to be unprepared. Make sure that you understand the bylaws, make sure you're properly insured, and that you've signed all the legal documents, okay? That way, you've got your bases covered. That way, when you're in the business building process, you are totally focused like a business building machine on the steps you need to take and being consistent. And you don't have to worry about any illegal stuff because you covered everything, right? Yes. And guess what? We have a checklist for that. Yes, we do. See, we got everything covered because we've been there. We've done that. If this information is making sense, give me another thumbs up. I appreciate it, guys. Give me a comment. Whatever the thing is you want to do to let me know that I'm hitting the nail on the head and you appreciate this information and that you understand it. Let me know that. It's awesome that you guys interact with me in that manner. I appreciate that. Also, point number 3, let's move on to that. Point number 3 is this: take care of yourself, your family, and your health. I know we've talked about that, but guys, you got to understand that this is imperative to your success. And we're going to go a little bit deeper here, because the thing is that you're going to get so wound up. You're going to be putting a lot of effort into this, a lot of time. You got to make sure you have the proper balance, but you can't stress yourself out trying to, quote unquote, have the perfect balance. Okay. Every individual is different. Everybody's going to have different timetables. Everybody's going to have different demands on their time. There may be some things that you're going to have to give up in order to find the time to make this business go. But the great thing is we always taught that this business model leverages your time, your efforts, your abilities, and your talents. Why? Because you're sponsoring like-minded people who have a work ethic like you, which means that the demand on your time is lessened because you're duplicating yourself so many times over. And when you're not working, there are other people out there that are building their businesses, which means they're creating volume. And when they create volume, they're increasing your income and moving your pin level up. Okay, it doesn't mean you sit on the beach. That's not what I'm saying, especially if you have big dreams. The point is that when there's times where you can't put the hours in that you want, okay, or have been putting in, guess what? Your business, because you sponsor the right people, continues to grow and covers your lack of time in that business for a short period of time while you're away. Okay, remember that we talked about if you got an emergency in the family, you have a health issue, guess what? Your business could, in fact, continue to grow where you become a figurehead because you've already duplicated yourself so many times over. But the thing is, do not ruin your health by not getting enough sleep. Okay, sleep is imperative to your health. Okay, do not find yourself drinking alcohol more because you're out socially recruiting or whatever, or don't put yourself where you're drinking and driving. That's another legal issue. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you're out meeting people, I never had a drink. I'm not a big drinker anyway, but I enjoy having a drink every once in a while, like anybody. But if I'm out, no way. And even if people just say, hey, can you sit down and I'll have a coffee or something, Coke, whatever, but I definitely would not have any alcohol because I'm not going to take that chance on ruining what I've worked so hard to put together. Okay. So that's part of taking care of yourself. You got to make sure you make good, sound decisions. And if you're going to put out this professional persona anyway, you shouldn't be drinking with prospects to begin with. And that's another story for another day, but I don't think that needs to be really talked about because I think you guys get it. Additionally, you got to make sure you're taking care of your family. Look, you got to make sure that you are paying proper attention to your family. Yes, you got to sit everybody down when you start your business and say, look, guys, I know that we've had a great family environment. We do things together and we this and that. But look, I've got to make sure that we have a solid retirement. And you know what? The business is good, but it's not doing good enough to where as we get older, we're going to be able to maintain a proper retirement. You know what? I'm going to put a lot of effort into this business model. It'll return my efforts multiple times over, and to develop an income that I can help complement or supplement or even replace the retirement plan I have now. And the thing is that I'm going to have to put in time and effort as a family since we've already spent a lot of time together. Please give me 3 months, 4 months, and allow me to see where this is going to go. It may be the answer, it may not, but I'm only going to find out if I put in a really top-notch effort into this for the next 90 days. Do you guys mind if we don't have movie night like we used to? We don't have pizza night like we used to. I may miss a few of your games here and there, but it'll be short term. This will not be long term. Okay. And you got to let the family know that is the proper way. It takes the stress off of you. You've addressed it up front before you started your business building process. Everybody's on board. So you're comfortable, you're relaxed, you're focused, you have energy, you have inner energy as well. And the thing is that you did all the right things and you're like, okay, you know what? I got all the legal things taken care of. I've got all the other issues that I need to legal wise. I've got the paperwork filled out correctly. I lost my thought for a minute. And the thing is that now I've got the family issue taken care of. Everybody's on board. Everybody understands what I'm doing. They understand the commitment that's going to go with this. Guess what? I need to get my butt in gear because I'm ready to go. Now, that being said, you got to make sure that your health is, as you're putting in the hours, monitor yourself. Make sure that if you start getting some telltale signs that you're getting stressed out, that anxiety is becoming an issue, that a panic attack may be coming on, whatever the case may be, guys, you got to make sure you back off, readjust yourself, readjust your schedule. I know that if you're like me, I'm an aggressive person. When I go after something, I'm going to go after it. The thing is that I sometimes lose all common sense when it comes to taking care of myself. It's like, oh, I'm fine, I'm good. And that's a fallacy that a lot of type A personalities have, is that they're like, you know what, I'm good to go. If I'm not dead, I'm good. Well, that's not a good thing to do. And especially if you're going to go out and build a business in today's environment with the virus, obviously. Now, the great thing is that a lot of people are using technology, and that's awesome. And they're going to be able to leverage technology even more so than what they have in the past, which is awesome. Again, so there again, what are you doing when you're using technology to keep your distance in today's environment? Hopefully this will go away sooner rather than later. The thing is, what are you doing? You're taking care of your health. You're not exposing yourself to that particular virus or your prospects as well. So you can continue to build your business in this environment. And if it ever happens down the road again, God forbid it does, guess what? Through this experience, you'll know that you can continue building your business in a safe and healthy manner. Okay. As we talked about before, your job, make sure, guys, that you do not lose your job because of you're so focused and motivated on what you're accomplishing here, especially as you continue to make more money. You tend to think, okay, I'm going to step away from the job, and you do it prematurely. We talked about that in the past. I'm not going to go into great detail. I told you about the stipulations that I had and the stipulations that are really kind of industry standard about somebody wanting to leave their job. And, a lot of times, look, I'm always going to prompt you to get with your upline leadership or your sponsor, and hopefully, I hope to God that they understand how this business works and gives you good, solid advice. But here's the thing, if they might say to themselves in a selfish way, well, look, Rob's going to go full time. That's awesome because he's doing a great job. Yeah, Rob, leave your job. Okay. And they're doing it out of selfish. They're making that statement out of a selfish need because they want you to be going full time because you've done so great on a part-time basis. That's not a sound reason to make that statement. Rob has a family to take care of. Rob is looking to you for proper guidance, not for you to take advantage in a selfish way of the situation by prompting me to leave my job too soon. The point is, we talked about the stipulations, 3 months, pay off your debt first, et cetera, et cetera. Once again, you can go and find that episode and learn what I'm talking about. But the thing is, here, what do you want to do? You do not want to jeopardize your future with that company. What if this falls apart and you had a really good job or a really great job? Guys, do not give that up. You know what? Build your business to the point where you have no choice but to leave your job, okay? And you may be building this business as a complementary income to what? To pay off your debt and to spruce up your retirement, okay? Your retirement might have taken a hit in the economy, and you're like, I got to do something. I'm not going to be able to retire if I don't. And this may be a complementary. So there again, do not leave your job until you're absolutely sure that's what you want to do and that it is making 3 times what you're making at your job. Now, I understand there's a limit because, Rob, that means that I'd have to make, 30,000 a month, 50,000 a month. Look, that is certainly possible here. But the thing is, I also realize that there's a lot of you that don't want to go to that income level. So I totally get that. That's a subject for another day, but let's not get off topic here. The point is, as we're talking about in this point number 3, is you got to take care of yourself, your family, your health, and your job. That is part of taking care of yourself. You have to have a backup plan. Okay. I've known people in the past that it worked out beautifully for, that jumped in with both feet. They left their job. They ran into the business opportunity. They were so excited, and they were extreme type A personalities. They didn't even think that the word failure would enter. In other words, the word failure did not enter their mind. They jumped into this and they went balls to the walls, and it worked out for them beautifully. Okay. Now, it wasn't all roses, there was challenges, but here's the thing, guys. They knew that they were going to make this business model work. Now, that's a lot of confidence, and it takes a lot of guts to make that jump, both feet, just flat out. I quit my job. I ran into an opportunity today, Monday. I quit my job tomorrow on Tuesday, and I started building my business on Wednesday. And I got a family support. Guys, that's a lot of pressure. But people have done that in the past. And believe it or not, there are people that have succeeded in the wildest of ways. But guess what? There are a million, for every success story, there's a million more that fail miserably. Don't do that, okay? That's part of what? Taking care of yourself, taking care of your family. I bring these things up because, once again, you're not going to hear these things. You got to have a level-headed approach. This business model will work for you. It'll leverage your time, abilities, efforts, and talents. I've always told you guys that, and guess what? Continue to know that as you take care of yourself. You're going to burn yourself out. We talked about that the other day. You're going to burn yourself out if you're trying to maintain, if you're going balls to the walls, trying to maintain your family, trying to maintain your job, trying to take care of the house, trying to take care of the cars, cutting the grass, helping your parents out. Look, there's a lot of demands in today's world, and you're going to burn out very quickly, and you're really going to put your health at a risk. I don't care if you're a health nut. The bottom line is you've got to have balance. That's the best thing I can say in this situation. And point number 3, balance. And you have to find your balance, okay? Nobody can sit here and tell you this is your balance, because nobody knows your situation better than you. So you know what you can cut back on. You know what the proper balance is for you. You know when you can give this much to that and that much to this. Okay, that's the thing. You got to make sure that you do that. Okay, moving on to point number 4 for those of you on the podcast. Point number 4 is make sure you have the legal stuff taken care of. And that is what we talked about a moment ago. I wanted to make sure that we hit that nail on the head squarely. It's the reason why it's in point number 4. Make sure you have all the legal documentation taken care of. You should not have any legal issues. Once again, if you're out driving a car and you fall asleep because you're doing too much, you put too much stress in your body, you didn't get enough sleep, you have an accident, you hit someone, God forbid, that's walking across the street, whatever the case may be, or God forbid, you took a drink and hit someone, got in an accident, guys, you got to make sure you got the legal stuff taken care of. That could ruin you and your family in a heartbeat. You do not want to do that. Additionally, you do not want to put yourself in a situation where you're going to bankrupt your family and lose your house, lose your car, anything like that, because you're so focused on what you're doing that you're totally ignoring all the other stuff, okay? Or maybe you're spending money that you shouldn't be spending, okay? The thing is, if the money's tight, okay, and this part of, bankruptcy is part of a legal process, okay? So it is a point here. The thing is, if you find yourself and your money's tight, you have a good job, it's still money's tight, look, and you say, you know what, I got to do 100 PV per month. That's a threshold of profitability. I got to set the example. Yes, but don't add stress to your already stressful situation by making your budget even more tight because you're spending $110, $120 extra a month now to do the threshold of profitability. Look, you need to set the example, no doubt about it. If you and your family are used to having 3-4 nights out eating out, just say, hey, when you have the family meeting, look, I'm going to go and really give this thing an honest effort for the next 90 days, but we're going to have to make some sacrifices because I need to do 100 PV per month, and we need to cut down from 4 nights out eating to 2, okay? And we need to drop, the 2 movie nights we have to 1. In other words, just make some logical adjustments in your spending habits, because most people already make the money. You make more than $100. Most people already make the money. It's just how the money is spent. So if you need to make some adjustments in your spending habits or where the money's going, then make those adjustments. You don't have to give up everything. You don't have to force the family to sit at home. You still should have a family night out. You should still have a movie night, but you don't have to have multiples of those, okay? And the thing is that I would give up pizza night and movie night to allow my children to still have their sports activities that I would support. But at the same time, I would say we'll come back and do the eating out and the movie thing after the 90 days. Okay. So the thing is, you got to make sure that you are taking care of yourself so that you don't have an accident, that you don't put yourself in a situation where an accident like that could wipe you out financially, legally. Additionally, you want to make sure that the $100 threshold of profitability example that you're going to set is not going to put you over the edge financially. You've got to make adjustments to make sure that you can do that comfortably so that you don't have all this extra added stress. Once again, this could turn into a legal issue. And you say, well, how can the threshold of profitability turn into a legal issue? Because I have seen people, once again, put themselves in a tough financial situation because of the threshold of profitability requirement. And I really hate using the word requirement, but I mean, it is a necessity. You got to set the example from the get-go, okay? So the thing is that you're going to have to make sure that you're not going to push yourself over the edge financially. And if it is, you got to make some adjustments in your spending habits or your commitment, your financial commitment, so that you can make that happen. And you're not going to end up making yourself bankrupt, which is really going to upset your spouse. And you don't want to do that. again, that can be a legal issue. So you don't want that to pop up and get you as you're building the business. Once again, make sure before you start that you have this addressed. You know what your financial situation is. You know the adjustments you need to make. And during the family meeting, you bring those adjustments up. Okay, that will help you avoid having, because bankruptcy is not cheap. Okay, I know that it can be a challenge to people. I've seen it. And the thing is that it can be an experience you don't want to go through. We've had some family members that have had some issues in that area because of medical reasons, and it's not a pretty thing, and it's a challenge, and it's something that came out of the blue. They did not expect, but the point is, it can happen to you as well. So make sure, once again, do not lose your family over a bankruptcy because you were pushing the envelope with the threshold of profitability. Don't put your family in a situation where you are out and accidentally fall asleep at the wheel and cause an accident and you don't have enough insurance coverage. And that's another thing about insurance. If you're going to be out and about meeting people, prospects, please make sure that your insurance policy on your vehicle covers the potential accident. You know, you don't want to have the minimum. I can tell you that. I have 300,000. Of course, I have the umbrella policy too, that goes above and beyond. But I think I have the maximum or more, or right at the maximum. I don't take any chances, because if somebody gets hurt, the medical expenses alone that I would have to pay if I was at fault are going to could be astronomical. So the thing is, I don't want that to obviously hurt us as a family. You don't want that to happen to you either as you're out there building a business. Once again, you got to make sure that stuff's taken care of. Once again, as you can tell, guys, this is stuff you're not going to learn anyplace else. This can be a boring subject. I totally get it. But this is stuff you got to know, because you own a real business. You've got to make sure this stuff is taken care of. All right. So let's go to point number 5. For those of you on the podcast, point number 5, be professional, which means say what you mean and mean what you say. And you're like, okay, well, how does that apply here? Look, a lot of people are going to join you because of you. All right. You've got to realize that you own a real business. I keep hammering that point home. I think you do. I think you're starting to get that. I constantly hammer that point. This is a real business. You guys have to act like it. Unfortunately, network marketers typically feel like they got to hold a rinky-dink Mickey Mouse operation. I'm telling you, you can build a multi-million-dollar business, an international multi-million-dollar business. Think about it. If you're with this company, if you're with the right company and they're growing exponentially, they're going to go into other countries, which means that you're going to have businesses, which means that you have sponsored people, leaders that are building businesses in other countries that the company is expanding into. Okay. So do you have businesses in other countries? Yes. Is your business itself international? Yes. Is your business large enough where it's developing on a monthly basis a multi-million-dollar product demand on the company, and you're being paid millions a year? Yes, that can happen. Absolutely. Catch the right company at the right time, that certainly can happen. So you do, in fact, have an international multi-million-dollar business, okay? You've got to conduct yourself in a professional manner, meaning you can't go out there doing crazy stuff, saying crazy stuff. There's a certain decorum, obviously. There's a certain ethic. There's certain moral things that you have to comply with. And you may not like that. But the thing is, if you're a renegade out there running crazy and totally ignoring your responsibilities to your downline and your business, and you're getting in legal trouble all the time or getting arrested all the time, I'm going to tell you that's not the type of person that your leaders either want to work with or follow. But then on the other hand, in your business under those conditions is not going to be stable, okay? Because your leader's going to say, I can't get a hold of Rob. He's always in trouble. He'll never answer his phone. He won't answer his text. I need some questions answered. So they're going to be like, you know what, this is bull crap. I can find a better situation than this. On the other hand, if you're professional, you conduct yourself properly, you set a good example, people enjoy being around you, people want to be around you, people want to work with you. There's so many positives come out of just being professional, be the business person you're supposed to be. Okay, it doesn't mean you can't smile. It doesn't mean you can't have fun. It doesn't mean that you can't socialize with your other leaders. You should do all those things and more. But the thing is, at the same time, you got to realize, once again, you own a serious business. Okay, people have to realize that you're running it as a business. Okay, and if you're conducting yourself in a business type manner, I mean, look at me. I really dress professionally. I say semi-casual, professional, whatever. But the point is that there's no doubt you guys can tell that I'm a business owner. You can tell that I run a business. You can tell that I'm motivated, focused, and that I conduct myself accordingly. Every once in a while, I'll say a little boo-boo word, but that's not very often. And at the same time, I'm making no excuses. There's times where those words are inserted to make a point clear or to emphasize a point, right? The point is that's not me as an individual. The bottom line is that I conduct myself in a proper manner, and that way I want people to enjoy being around me. I love people, but I know that I have to conduct myself in a proper way. I will tell you that if you conduct yourself as a professional and you treat people right, and people want to be around you, it is worth millions of dollars to you. Millions. I'm telling you, it's worth millions of dollars. If you're going to be a ding dong and piss people off and push them away and be difficult to work with, you're not. Okay, you maybe get lucky and get one company or one opportunity where you can make some nice money, maybe even great money. There are people that bend the rules. How, I don't know, but some people do. But the bottom line is, for the vast majority of people, if you're going to act like that, you're not going to get high quality people to stick around, because those high quality people have to put up with that stuff at work. They're certainly not going to put up with it in their business, and especially from their leader. Okay. Yeah, they want to be in a situation where their stress levels kept lower or as low as possible, and yet make aggressive progress towards their goals so that they can get out of the mess they're in at their work environment. That is what they want. Okay, you can help that environment, and you can help your own success, potential success. You can help solidify your business by being professional. Remember, always remember, guys, you own a business. You own a business. You are an entrepreneur. You are a go-getter. You are a professional person that's motivated and focused on whatever you choose to do. Conduct yourself that way. Have a good time. Smile. Enjoy people. Listen to people. These are just traits of a professional. Okay. And if you do that, I'm telling you, people are going to be impressed, and they won't care what you do for a living, as sad as it is to say. But the thing is, people enjoy other people, and you got to realize what kind of value that brings to your business. The stability, because look, the leaders that are in your business, if you get along with them and you treat them good and you're there for them and they enjoy being around you, that stability, they'll be like, I don't want to go anyplace else. I'm making the money that I want to make. My business is stable. I've got a great sponsor. I got a great leader. They're there. If I go to another company, there's no guarantee that's going to be there. Okay. And it doesn't guarantee that everybody's going to stay, but it certainly puts the numbers on your side, and that's what you want. So be professional. Realize what you have a hold of. Make sure that you have at your fingertips the ability to influence your business by being what? A professional in an international multi-million-dollar business, because that's exactly what you're building. That's exactly where you're headed. That's exactly what it's going to be at the end of the day. If your dream is to build a big business and to change your life in a major way. So it's we're doing pretty good. I'm going to hurry up and get off of here because I don't want to keep you guys around. Once again, if this makes sense, please give us thumbs up. Please comment. We always love hearing that. what you have to say, and we always love the feedback. The first point we made was understand the reality of your role in this, your success. Well, I'm tongue-tied today. It's a Monday, I can tell. Okay. Let me say it again, guys, for the podcasters, because the people on the video can see it. Okay, don't be scared of the reality of the fact that you are now taking responsibility for your business. You're learning today your role, your important role in your success, and it's a background role. In other words, you own a business. There's responsibilities that come with that. You got to make sure you have all your ducks lined up. Point number 2, you have to realize that this is a real business. That's what we talked about. And I think you do now. Point number 3, taking care of yourself, your family, your business, your health. Okay, you got to maintain your job. You got to take care of that. Guys, there has to be a proper balance. You got to take care of yourself. If you take care of yourself, then almost automatically your family's going to fall in that category. Your health's going to fall in that category. Because if you care about your family, care about your health, care about your job, if you're going to take care of yourself, then all of those things will fall in line, because all of that makes up who you are. Okay. So point number 4, make sure you have the legal stuff taken care of. We talked about that. And point number 5 is be professional. Say what you mean and mean what you say. If you say you're going to do it, and be professional about it. And man, I'm telling you, if you cover these bases here, it's going to be huge for you. Okay. That means that once you do make that commitment to start building a business, you are on your way, and you're an unstoppable business building machine, a focused business building machine. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for being here today. It was a good one. I'm trying to get them shorter and shorter, as you can tell, but also touching the important subjects you'll not find anywhere else. Again, if you don't mind, please like, comment on our various social media platforms, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please register for the notifications. And always, please give us a thumbs up when we're doing live. And if you don't mind, join us tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another great episode. I'll do better tomorrow. I was tongue-tied today. You have days like that, right? I don't know why it was so tough today. But anyway, the point is, join us tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let other people know that we're there to help them out. We're going to be covering another important subject tomorrow. And you're going to see this channel changing quite a bit here in the very near future. It's always going to be great information. Remember, we're on SoundCloud. We're on all the podcast platforms, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Yeah, remember that we're always there, and we're always going to have great content for you guys. But the show is going to be changing in a very big way in the very near future as we continue to mature this. I'm trying to do one thing at a time and try not to do too much, where I'll screw something up. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. God bless you. Go out and have a positive impact on the world, because the world's a better place when you do. You guys are awesome. I'm so flattered by your support. Continue to be here each and every day, 11 a.m. for more great content that you'll not get anyplace else. God bless you. We love you, and talk to you soon.